So today is Wednesday, September 5th. Make sure that you're writing, you're showing all your work on your warm-up. So we're gonna start with Wednesdays. That says the temperature outside is 4 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature drops 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Between which 2 points is the location of the temperature after the change? So let's start by going to 4 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're at 4. We're gonna go ahead and mark it at 4. Okay, then it drops. So that means it's going which way? Down. So we're gonna count the drops. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means it dropped to -2. So it's asking between which 2 points is the location of the temperature. So what are the 2 points? What are the 2 points? If it's went from here to here, the two between 2 points. Kirsten?
4 Fahrenheit and 6 Fahrenheit.
Okay, so it went from +4 to -2. But I'm asking, if you look at the number line, there's points on the number line. Go ahead. Okay, and you guys are looking at the numbers, but aren't there letters in there?
Letters. Oh, yeah.
Yes, they're letters. So they're asking which 2 points. Yes. Yeah, it's between D and E. So then we're going to go ahead and say the temperature dropped between point D and point E. Now let's go back. Did we answer the question? It says between which 2 points is the location of the temperature after the change? Did we answer the question? Mm-hmm. Yes, we did. So then that means we have that correct. Any questions on that? So let's go ahead and grade your homework. Make sure that you have the correct word underlined and also the correct integer. So go ahead and grade that. Remember, there are 5 points off each if you get any of them wrong. The number line. So this is your handout, the exit ticket you need to do right now. It says gain of 9 pounds, and I'm going to give you that one. When it says gain of 9 pounds, is that positive or negative? Yes, it's positive. So we're going to go ahead and put +9. Now, what would be the opposite of +9, Kirsten?
Oh, yeah, I had it.
-9. So you have to answer both of them. Okay, and that's what you do for all of it. Remember, once you're done, turn it in. The numbers that you were supposed to put them in order. Who could tell me what the correct order was? Yes? Remember you did a human number line? Yeah, you did. Well,
Talking about this.
the numbers I gave you.
This.
It's not the human number line, but it's the numbers I gave you.
Oh my God.
What was the order? Now that you went through it, yes. Yeah, least to greatest. So what were the least amount? -7. Then came, which one? -2/2. Then it's 0. Then it's 6/3. Oops, hold on. 6/3, and then 25. Yes, you did get it right. Now, guys, remember these numbers here, they're fractions, but they represent whole numbers too. So the -2/2 is also what? Yes. Yeah, it's one whole. It's just -1. And then 6/3, it's what? It's actually positive 2 because there's no negative numbers. So it's 2. So those two numbers, even though they look like fractions, they still represent whole numbers. Remember that. Now, I asked this question and that person couldn't tell me. This bar right here, it's part of the fraction, right? But it's also what operation, Marissa? Division. It's also division. So when you had 6/3, well, a 6 divided by 3 is actually just 2. So remember that. On your desk, you have a bag with 5 cards in it. What you're going to do, as a group, you are going to put them in order from least to greatest. When you're done as a group, you're going to raise up your hand, and if it's correct, the first group that gets it correct gets Ranger bucks. So make sure you're doing it. Ready? Go. Okay, we're starting with the symbols. So there's 3 symbols that you use. You use this one, which is less than. You use this one, which is equal. And then you have the other one, which is greater than. Now, when you look at the number line, so you just draw a number line, put a 0 there. So on the left side, you have negatives. On the right side, you have positives. So anything that's on the left side of 0 is going to be less than 0. And anything on the right side of 0 will be more than 0. So now when you're comparing your integers, you got to look at a number line. You have to look at a number line. So we're going to go ahead and draw another number line, but now with numbers. You have 0, -3, -2, -1, 1, 2, and 3. So remember, the further you go to the left, it's going to be smaller. The further you go to the right, it's going to be bigger. So let's compare. If I have -1 compared to -3, -1 compared to -3, which one is furthest to the left? So you have -3 here, -1 here. Yes. So -3. So that means -3 is further to the left. So that means it's going to be smaller. So that means -1 is greater than -3. So when it was positive, you guys remember that 1 is smaller than 3, right? But when you put that negative sign, then it switches around. So now -1 is greater than -3. Now think about it. If your number line was going up and down, if it was vertical, wouldn't -3 be further on the bottom than -1? And that's what you could do. You could use the number line going up and down. Okay, and that's what you need to do. Let's try another one. Now if you look at another one, we have +1 compared to positive 3, and in this case, what happens?
We get the 3.
Yeah, 1 is less than 3, right?
The big old 3.
1 is less than 3. Okay, so these are the rules when you're working with comparing integers. So make sure you make a note on it, draw a star on it, do something so you'll remember. So I'm going to put a star. So positive numbers, and it's not a hashtag, that's a representing for numbers, are always, and underline that because that's very important, greater than negative numbers. So if you look at it, if you think about it, if I have a positive 2 compared to a negative 5, well, that means the arrow or your symbol is going to be pointing to the less number. And which one would that be? You draw a number line. You have positive 2 here. Negative 5 there. So in this case, which one's further to the left? Negative 5. So that means 2 is greater than negative 5. So remember that rule. Positives will always be greater than negatives, no matter what number. You could have positive 1 compared to a negative 100. Guess what? 1 is still greater than negative 100. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, oops. Okay, so let's look at the next part. Now this is another one that you need to put a star on it because we're going to go with negative numbers. This is a rule. The bigger the number, the bigger numbers, sorry, not the number. The bigger number are always on the right, and that's on your number line. So always on the right. Okay, bigger numbers are always going to be on the right. If you're looking at it with a vertical number line, there's always going to be on top. So they're going to be up. So when you're looking to comparing integers, if you use a number line, it makes it easier to see which one's bigger or which one's smaller. Okay, and remember, your arrow or your symbol should be pointing to the lesser amount. Always to the lesser amount. So any questions on that? No? Okay, so what we're going to be doing next, everybody finish writing this? Okay. So what we're going to give you your classwork and your homework. Remember, it becomes homework if you don't finish it in class. Oh, and again, let's look at that number line. The numbers that you worked on. So what was the correct order? what you're gonna do on this, this activity, masters integer strips, what you're doing is writing the integer on where it says integer. So you write the integer. When you're done writing it, you're cutting it out and then putting them in order, in ascending order. Now, what does ascending order mean? From what? Ascending,
Means going up.
it's going up. So ascending means least to greatest. So if it's going up, it's least to greatest. So what I need you to do is once you write the integer, you're going to cut them out and put them in order from least to greatest. Now you could help each other out as you're doing this, but make sure that you are doing your own paper and not using everybody else. You do need scissors, you need glue, it's on the table, so make sure you do that. This is your class work. So your homework is the other one I gave you on your paper.